Hi lovelies! Today I thought it'd be really cool to give you some young adult romance book recommendations, especially since Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and to read some sugary sweet, light, swoon-worthy love interest books. And I thought it would be a really fun book video. So my first recommendation is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is a story about Anna, who begrudgingly goes to a boarding school in Paris. I know, right? Oh no, Paris boarding school. But you know, she had this whole plan for her senior year, and it just gets ruined when her dad makes her go to this boarding school. But then she starts giving it a chance, and she makes new friends, especially this smart, cute, charming guy named Etienne St. Clair. But the only problem is that he has a girlfriend, and she's trying her best to stop crushing on him, but it's pretty hard when you're in the city of love. So if you're looking for some international romance, I would definitely recommend Anna and the French Kiss. Then there's Going Vintage by Leavitt, and it's about this girl named Mallory, and her boyfriend just cheated on her with some online girlfriend he had. So she's definitely not that keen about technology. And then she finds this to-do list by her grandmother that she did in 1962, and she gets inspired to complete the list and live like it's 1962 while she completes it. But it turns out that living more simply is just more complicated than she thought, and not helping the matter is the super cute pep class president, who is actually her ex-boyfriend's cousin. So yeah, that can be a bit iffy and complicated in any decade that you are in. So if you're looking for something with a touch of vintage 1960s, Going Vintage is the book for you. Then there's Once Upon a Marigold by Ferris. So by the title you can tell it's more of a fairy tale romance that I would highly recommend. It's mostly about Marigold, who is a princess, and Christian, who ran away from home when he was young and was raised by a troll. So Marigold and Christian strike up a correspondence via carrier pigeon, so they become these sort of pen pals while never actually meeting. And then Christian decides that he needs to see more of the world, go out by himself, and he decides to work in the castle where Marigold lives. But he keeps his identity as her pen pal a secret. And while Christian is at the castle, he learns of the Queen's plan to gain more power. And the plan would put Marigold in danger, so Christian has to try and protect her and try to find a way to stop the Queen's plan. I really love this book. It's silly and fun and sweet. And if you're just looking for a fun, lighthearted little fairy tale with a bit of humor, I highly recommend Once Upon a Marigold. Enthusiasm by Polly Shulman follows this girl named Julie, and she has this best friend named Ashley. And Ashley likes to go through a lot of phases, like candy making or the band, but the thing about her phases is that she goes all in. She goes 110%. So when her face is Jane Austen, Julie's like, oh, that's cool, because she likes Jane Austen too. But of course, Ashley can't just like Jane Austen, so she kind of drags along Julie for all her phases, and this isn't an exception. And Ashley starts dressing like the Jane Austen characters and trying to talk like the characters did back then. And she kind of ropes in Julie into trying to crash this party at an old boys school that's outside of town. And they're trying to learn all those dance routines that they did back in the day. And the dance and stuff sort of starts the series of events, and they are asked to be in this old boys school play. and then there's the cute boys there, and there's misconceptions and awkward situations, and it's just a comedy of errors, and with just a hint of Jane Austen and a bit of romance. I think this is a really fun, fluffy, sweet book. Geek Magnet by Kiara Miller is about this girl named KJ Miller, and she's really super nice to the point that like she really doesn't stand up for herself, and all these like I guess geeks, that's what they call them in the book, you know, they kind of misinterpret her niceness for something more, and she's just too nice to like let them down at all, and it causes KJ problems, especially since she likes the star of the basketball team, this guy named Cameron. But of course, he doesn't really know she exists, doesn't really pay attention to her. So KJ tries to get help from the popular girl named Tama, who is the star of the Grease musical that she's in charge of, because KJ is stage manager. So Tama kind of gives her bad advice because she's a mean girl, so she's like, oh, you need to stand up for yourself, you know, you gotta be mean about it, you know. So nice KJ tries to go to the other spectrum and be mean, and of course that causes other kinds of problems. So KJ Miller's life is pretty crazy at the moment, and I really found this book really entertaining, and I really liked the musical aspect of it and her being in charge of it all. So of course I couldn't have a young adult romance book recommendation video without mentioning Sarah Dessen. Which book might that be? She's written so many good ones. I chose Along for the Ride. It was actually the first book I ever read by Sarah Dessen, and I've just always loved it. It's about this girl named Auden, and her parents are divorced. And she goes to spend the summer with her father and his new family, which can be a bit strange or awkward. She also suffers from insomnia, and that's how she runs into Eli, who also suffers from it. And they kind of bond over that, and he kind of shows her around town and where to go at night. She also gets a job at this fashion boutique, and she kind of gets like thrust into all this like girl things that she never had a chance to really do or be a part of, because she has a very demanding mother, so she's always had to like kind of hit the books and just be a really good daughter, be a really good student, and never really had enough time to just be a girl and have fun with her friends and just have adventures. And she definitely gets a chance to do that summer. And it's really just sort of like coming of age, just trying to figure out who she is and what she wants to do with her own life. And all these romance books doesn't just deal with one type of love. It's not just love for the significant other. There's love for family and love for friends and just love for everything. So I definitely recommend all of these if you're just looking for the light, fun romance book. So do you have any recommendations for me that are just fun, light romance books? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Bye!